One, two. It is bright as day. So you hear me? Sound in the house? Yeah. Good morning, said hand signals, please. Yeah, figuring out the microphone and how to run my show. Star seeds for, ho ho ho. See, I'm breaking out in a sweat, and now I don't. What do we do? If you want, we can do a little bit of Q&A, you know, and get into the nitty gritty of things. So I had this Mantic Mystic. Yeah, Mantic Mystic, you didn't get at me, so I didn't know you were here. Anyway, I'm between Sedona and Hawaii, just so you know. You must know. Um. Okay. Aloha. Mahalo. Maui. Oh yeah, that's where I'm going next. I like actually to stay in all of those places. So yeah, we are actually sold out with the beanies. We have to actually make new ones. These are like we have these and then we have these. It's like we're out of the merchandise actually. That needs to be reamped, yeah. And I'm working on some stuff. Anyway, so I had this inside with my partner Krista that the bigger angels are obligated to pick up the smaller angels. Angels come in different shapes, forms, and sizes, and there are rules. And the souls, once they awaken to a certain degree, they'll all they all understand. They all know. Let me see if I have this correct here. Coil gain. Yeah. You all hear me loud and clear, right? This should be adjusted. So this is all good and all clear. Ra'an. It's very funny that there was a superhero who later on, I don't know if he became Captain Universe. And I did not know this as a child. That there's a story of a guy who was called Arcturus Ra'an. El-An Ra has to do with the Orion system in the ancient wars. And then I found out that Ra'an is a consciousness that seeks out human conduits in times of change as the planet goes through pivotal. So yeah, so look for Arcturus Ra'an, like Ran. I mean, he's black, he's white, he's bearded, he's whatnot, but he's a time traveler. So those that are connected to the Ra collective, you can say we're that, and we come back actually to how do you say to recalibrate the system to help in the ascension process. I did a little video, but I will do this announcement also. From now to the year 2050, 40% of US citizens will be feeling the flooding areas. I've listed the towns. For those who want to study that, there's a report on Zillow that's for real estate that shows all the towns: Carlsbad, Malibu, Baltimore, Camden, Bridgeport. I don't know them all. Where they'll be flooding, like mild flooding. You will have to move. They know the sea levels are rising and they know the coastline is disappearing. Also, direction Yellowstone Park, we should also keep a close watch. Get an app that actually reports. Yeah, there's some areas in California that will get it. Basically, where insurance companies are basically preparing themselves now for either to cover it or not. So they have the zones, the risk areas going from 0.2% to up to 36% of flooding, where you have to really pay attention where you're living, how your insurance policy is changing, and really stay informed and be well and be wise before investing or moving into areas that might be at risk in the next 20 years. That is a report that goes from like now to 2050. That can also happen faster depending on how quick we're changing our consciousness. If we are too unconscious, there will be disaster areas where people just not really getting it. So, well, pain will strike the heart where people are not developing their consciousness, sorry to say. And that's for all around the planet. But America somehow is a little bit in the focal point because it's the ancient Atlantean energy that's being revived. And all of those who came back here are those with Atlantean memory directly. That's why America was, you can say, Hollywood and so great and the magical continent. It still is, mind you. It has been misused by politics and people who think they can run this, but you're not really running this, which actually is recalibrating itself to its original state. So now you know. So when that video comes up, it's going to be like a flooding, how do you say, probability report, you know? So yeah, I mean, I read a book by Diana Cooper that she said that, you know, the coastal line like Malibu, I don't know, Valencia is land in like along the coastline, the water is just gonna move in. I had a vision where I see people basically getting in their cars slowly. It was not like a fire, which also was already an extreme hit with California. These are already the precursors of consciousness needing to elevate and coming together. So, and it's nothing where life has to be lost. It's about changes have to be made for certain energies to stop. You know, people don't understand that we have had since the Las Vegas incident, I think 307 shootouts, if not even more. Like this is already old statistics. Like in public places, from schools to a yoga, spa, churches, synagogues. I mean, there's no more limit here. And that shows us. See where I come from. Some people might not want to hear this, and they want to claim the Fifth Amendment and all of this. To me, this is crap. I'm half German. Weaponry is outlawed. Period. And that should be the case. People try to find other ways in new energy alternatives where you can make much more money than selling guns. So also when Cryon channels this Christmas will be different. I agree with that. When consciousness comes in, a friend of mine had a gun collection for like, can you believe it, $25,000, and he paid off his mortgage. Basically completed that, selling all his guns, and he said, "I'm done with that." You know. Then comes to mind, take a little sneak peek, like a picture. Guns are GPS chipped activation control from a control center for people with authority, where the minute that is pulled in that corner, the film cam, you're being filmed, the micro camera is on, and you're being tracked. All of that activity will be tracked and trackable in the future, and then everybody will scream control and surveillance and Big Brother, but this is coming in because we have created that. You know, it can't be that, or I don't know, 2 weeks ago in Florida, we had another shootout and 17 people just, you know, and now they want to say teachers should arm themselves. No, you should disarm the public. You know, that's my opinion. And please, who agrees with me, give me likes, thumbs up, because you're creating that reality that my honest question is like this. If I'm going to a bakery and let's say 67 people here, you're all my neighbors, and let's hope like a big demographics, you're all not having guns or weaponry. Why would we need that if we living in a community? We're getting our bread in the morning. We getting our harvest. What's that for? For hunting, I understand. people that have psychological evaluations every year in these countries. In China, they kill you if you carry a gun. In Germany, it's 5 years minimum. That this is they're really, really not playing with that. So there should be a barrier that this shouldn't be accessible for. I mean, to me, you have to understand. I'm partially European. It is unbelievable that a 16-year-old can go into a gun store, let's say in Las Vegas, and rig himself like Killer Commando. That is makes no sense in my mind. I can't fathom that mentality. I don't understand. If you want to play an ego shooter on PlayStation, it's a simulation. I understand that, but in real life, you don't get another quarter for another player or player one, or reset the game. We have to understand that these weapons were developed by destructive spirits for that purpose. And when consciousness reigns in upon us, and there's been study cases in Switzerland when people were in a psychedelic state, not always induced by intake. This can also be done through energy or places or experience or programming, and the brain harmonizes. The two hemispheres come together. People don't want to be violent. Like, we are not born that way. Yes, we're protective. Yes, we have survival instincts, but our instinct is, we're not born. Like, there's nobody with a killer instinct. Like, this is being created. This is being made, and the repercussions is to understand 400 shootouts or whatever. This is within the year. And I have to share this. More in that nature was happening than in the last 40 years. So it's like skyrocketing. What does that tell you? It polarizes. And this is like, if you look into statistics or physics, things have to polarize in order for you that there's something that must change. And you make that change by making the choice that maybe today I spend my $2 on something that is of value to somebody and make somebody happy. And that's actually why we're here, what we're here to do. So I wrote some poetry for my rap song Starseeds Activate. If you want to hear it, I'll share that with you. Yeah, so I agree with what I'm reading here, basically. And I know it's you have to understand also, certain people are under a spell, literally. Yeah, I will give you poetry in a minute. In Africa, there's this ancient tale that says that the Westerners are under the spell of Kingu, which is a reptilian god that makes people believe that the illusion is real. So the illusion is, and I have to say this, and I want you to be on the path of enlightenment. Is we no longer have to sit in monasteries and be like, yeah, namaste, kumbaya, all of this. This is all like labels. The reality is now is, what are you doing with your life? Are you a peaceful person? Are you a rational person? Are you common sense? Somebody said common sense is like deodorant. People that need it the most don't use it. I find that very amusing, my friends. Very amusing. So, breaking the spell is basically, we have contact experience. We have like the most phenomenal experience. Like, I had people that say to me, Ra, I remember you from ships. I had shared dreams with people where I spoke to somebody that I don't know, and then 2 years later I'm meeting a person. I was like, I think I've seen you somewhere, and I'm like, it doesn't. I can't. See, the complication is like, I can't put it together. And then I'm like, oh my god, this was this dream, and you were sitting in front of me, and we were talking about Earth and consciousness. And so I'll give you a trick for dream recall for those that are interested. I mean, I'm building devices. I wish I could show you prototypes, but I don't have prototypes here. One thing I'm working on here right now, and I'm continuously sold out, is the trumpets that blew down Jericho's wall. Gabrielle is missing an instrument. Not really. This is a filter, a 12-stage filter. and this is a shower. So this right now here, this device is untreated. What I'll do with this device is I fill it with nanospherical quartz sand that is photonically charged and lava pebbles that I had custom made. So you get the earth energy and frequency back, and then I will attach ceramic magnets to phase conjugate what's coming through here, and I have people reporting wrinkles disappear. You have to understand, if you're in a shower and your shower doesn't have a filter, chloride and fluoride hits your skin, meaning in 10 minutes you have 10 cups of water in your system, fluoride and chloride, meaning your detox becomes a myth because every day you use your shower, every day you get a load of crap. So if it's not me, just get a filter. These things will have a price. You will see that, but it's because of the way I have to take this entire thing apart and refurbish this because this is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I wanted to do so you can get into a state of alignment. So here's my pledge. Almost sounds like a sales pitch, but I'm sold out right now, so you have to wait, people. I listed 20, and it was like people that understand household stuff, and you don't want to call it biohacking life. It's more like aligning your life. So the next thing that I want to get into also is from a company called Magnetico. I'm not being sponsored by them. I haven't even. Hi, Mary. Your second package is en route. So interestingly, they go in the Carlsbad. That is a flood area in the next 30 years. So check the demographics, get your information of that place, of where that is and how safe that is. That is Carlsbad. Interesting show popped up on the list. Not at a very high percentage, but maybe you get this much water in your house in the next 20 years. So how fast that goes, again, like I said, has to do with consciousness. So what I want to do is people want to know, how do I get into the avatar stage? How do I activate my mind? First of all, two things that I'm in. I'm 49. I have ideal weight. So is being aligned, rejuvenating yourself. I mean, you see, I've lost a little hair, but I lost that when I was 27. So who cares? But not gray, and really, I don't know if I look so crumpled. I think I look like I'm like biologically. They said I'm like in my 30s biologically, and well, physiologically, psychologically, and biologically. There's like three stages of where the body is. So I have a younger body, lived more life cycles. I'm doing great, actually, how I do it. So the detox and the cleanse is I will do a course. I'm working on a new website, and so just be patient with me. Where I'm working on a course for you, what diets you should have as an eating right for life, like not just a diet and you bounce back to the crap. A diet that allows you to, if you have to go to Mickey D's, it's not going to kill you, but you pick the better path and the higher route. So you should have your showers aligned, however you do it. You should have your beds aligned. You're sleeping on ley lines. Some of you are in apartments, right? You have electricity under you. Guess what? Outer body experience doesn't happen every day because you're not phase conjugate every day. Phase conjugate, what does that mean? That means that the ground under you is actually harmonized like the flower of life, and the body is still and harmonized in a protective field, and then your soul can pop out and you can come back with full memory. We can't do that because we're living in a time distortion. The law of one talks about that. So a salt bath will help, yes, but here's one thing: get a magnetic mattress. I'm not building them because it's just too much work. I probably have to buy one for my mom, and they're not cheap. But health has no price tag. I spoke to a friend of mine, and she spent $30,000 on doctor visits that would not help her with her spinal stenosis, until she found an energetic system to decalcify the body. What is that called? Arthrosis. And the calcification of the body and arteries. So she bought a mattress from a company named Magnetico, sleeping pad, and that mattress starts with the level Gauss 5. So take a pen and paper if that is of interest to you. It creates the magnetic field regulated of Earth. Our magnetic field is weak right now, so that makes us also susceptible to all types of stuff that hits us. So the reason why you're not seeing ships every day is your pineal gland does this. It's in a protective mode. You know why when shamans, there are studies when you go into deep studies of trance and psychedelics and whatnot. Shamans say that psychedelics in the past, the ancient past, weren't needed. You could be in a cave. The magnetic level was 300 Gauss, and you can sit there for 10 minutes. You would see the spirits. You would see everything. Everything would open up. Now our Gauss level is like, I think, level 4, and totally distorted and out of whack. So of course our density is very high, and we don't see nothing. That explains why kids and people that are going to these states can see that stuff. So if you want to reactivate that and bring that back, and you're really interested, and you should get into a mattress that has magnets, beginning level of Gauss 5, king size or queen size. You should be completely covered under your mattress and laying in that field. For those who want to go crazy, and I say, hey, there's no limit, get a Faraday cage, meaning it is a EMF protective canopy around your bed, and be completely shielded like in a pyramid. In your dreams will be like you think you're tripping, you're on mushrooms. In the first weeks you will wake up like you think you're high, and the more alignment you put into your sleeping stuff and your homes and your kitchen and your refrigerator. I biohacked my refrigerator. If you haven't seen that video, watch that. You'll be amazed how life will begin to work for you, because magic is missing because we are photonically and magnetically out of alignment. And I spoke to a guy that said alignment, there's no such thing as an alignment. That's also telling me that your belief system is running you. You're not really understanding what alignment means, and everybody understands what alignment means. Alignment means if you, let's say, you have 7 chakras, and they're all spinning in the correct frequency, and they're all forming one line. That means alignment. When you stand up with your body, we can test that right now. Stand up like this. Then you watch the shoulders. See this? See the chair behind me and my shoulders? That is called alignment. And I've seen some women have that. They either slouch or they stand like this. And you can test that yourself. And if you stand like this, that means either you have a dominant left side or you have a dominant right side. Right means masculine, okay? Left means feminine. Whatever is overproduced will make the move. Also, you can ask yourself, and I learned that from a friend of mine, if you're a galactic being or if you're an Earth incarnate, you can even stand on one leg and then see where your body say. You can say, before you do it, say, give me a yes in the present moment, and your body will do this. Give me a no in the present moment, and your body will stay stable. So you have a yes, no, and then you can ask yourself that you stand up. You get clear in your head. Also, to clear your head, you breathe in 3 times through your nostrils. That gets your frontal lobe activated and gets you in your body, because it's not only ascension, it's also an ascension taking place. Like you are coming into your body, into the vessel. It's very important. Meaning to be here and to be in life. And people that are not in life, you can see them, they're driving cars like this, and it's like, oh, it's all dreamy, and they're all over the lanes, and they're not really there. So the cognizance and the presence with the body and the reactive stuff, you got to be, you got to be able, this motor skills, you have to be there. And a lot of people are like, it's like you're very not there. You're very not connected with your body. You're tripping, you're stumbling. Feel yourself. This is about feeling yourself, getting into the system, recalibrating, coming home so you can ascend. So I'm working on, and this is a far out, an ascension chamber system where, and maybe somebody can help me, and I will look into shipment. I'm looking for a broken tanning booth with the silicate glass inside. Okay, guten Abend, der Herr Alex Hase. Wie geht es? So the tanning booth is for the purpose of me. I already took this apart here. Putting photonic chargers. This is filled with the photonic sand, and I will basically make them very, very long. It's going to be an expensive process. It's probably going to cost me, I don't know, 20 grand over 2 years to get the material together, to even set that system up. At some point, it will be for sale. I haven't even found a manufacturer that can actually manufacture what I need. It's an overall ascension system where the magnetics are aligned. You're in a Faraday cage. You're completely shielded like in a sarcophagus. The holy geometry is given, laser engraved within the glass, and you laying on that thing. You have the magnets, which will be ceramic magnets. You can experiment at home. And aligned, again, a healthy magnetic earth field. What humans can take is beginning 5 Gauss, 43 is maximum. If you do that higher level too soon, you detox like crazy. You don't want to do this. You don't want to see spirits and hear voices when your emotional body is not prepped and ready. And I'm gonna be like Black Xavier, where I want to actually create a camp where, what up, Kripalitsky? Kripalitsky. Say what's up to Riff Raff Magoo and Gustav Zeitgeist. They know who they are. So anyway, so you lay in that thing, and I'm saying this because we already tested it. Photons blasting from the bottom and photons blasting from the top. And in the future, this will be, I see an idea for rehab centers and cancer treatment centers and whatnot. I'm projecting an image as this will be accepted as a medicinal device in the future. First, people need to see that actually there's actually something happening with the body, which I'm not worried about because it does. So magnetic alignment from the floor, magnetic alignment from the top, and photonic alignment. See, people do orgone here, photons here, magnets here. These systems, like Bruce Lee did it with his system, we need to combine the system. The oneness of magnets is earth, photons is heaven. So heaven and earth is kind of like a yin-yang station. So when you lay in that station, and you can Google that, it's called the Kozyriev mirror. The Russians have done it without any implementation of any of the substance that I have mentioned, just in a shielded stainless steel pipe. And after 10 minutes, people freaked out and ran because they got telepathic. Their psychic skill was increased by 400%. Everything just went crazy wild. So that tells us if we can harness that and use that system to bring ourselves back online with the junk DNA and what we are made of, then we can actually come back to our true self and true senses, and we can be healed from the spell. Meaning, even if people that say, I don't believe this stuff, this is blah, 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 and this is voodoo, we have to outdo those who actually promote crap online. And I want you to pay attention. There was a person that has unbelievably, I think, 600,000 views on YouTube, who claims that the government is taking down Organite from an Etsy store because it has nuclear particles in it, and they were approached by the nuclear revision department. It's bullshit, okay? Everybody is selling their orgone. There's some people there that have copyright on the word, and they will bitch and they will tell you change the header or change the name. That's about it. But from eBay to Amazon, wherever you go, it's still being sold. There is no government coming in. Trust me. A microwave is radioactive. Do you think the government's knocking on your door because you have a microwave in your room? You know when they will come knocking? If you actually have 50 microwaves, you take the thing that's called the electron, and you dismantle the thing like one guy did, and you line up 50 of those things, and you get sick and you die, and you create that much radiation that in your neighborhood the birds fall out of the sky and everything is upset, well, then you'll have probably the Department of Defense. But other than that, the rest is conspiracy theory. Do not fall for the okie doke. People post, actually, besides CNN and Fox News and all of those, they just make stuff up. You know, Etsy has never received such a thing. There's no facts. Same thing when people post what Trump supposedly said in tweets. Do not fall for the crap. Stay out of politics. People make up these they say like at, and then it says the name of the president, and then they quote something. It's just all fabricated, people. We got to stay in reality. We got to stay out of the ruckus that people create just for creating it, you know. We are ascending and we are making progress, people. We are winning. They said that there's like 150 more women in the White House now, in Congress. We have more female directors than ever in the business. We are processing. Nobody gets away with stuff anymore. We're moving on. There's a lot of stuff unfolding that, of course, is not being televised because it's embarrassing, where the perpetrators are actually all have to hand in their chips, and it's goodbye. New show, feminine energy is balancing everything out. The equation, we're becoming more peaceful. And thank you. You're showing me that. I almost have 100 people in the chat here. I love it. That shows me we're ascending. Maybe 20 years ago, I'd have 2 views or 2 viewers, you know? So we can also go into the Q&A in a moment. So if you want to hear some poetry, that's actually a sneak peek to my song. I'm not playing the song, but I'll give you the poetry if you want to, and you might laugh. So if you want to hear poetry, let me know. So you ready? Because I'll shoot the sheriff right now. Organite, water chamber, salt, 2 large slim quartz crystals. Okay, I'll do some poetry. That's usually when I prepare myself as a battle MC to go in. I'm trying to come with all. So giving a little bit away. Let me take a sip here. The poetry goes hand in hand with what I feel and what you already know. Now, follow this if you can. Let me get this together. I'm still learning the song because we have to shoot a video soon with drones and camera guys and hunts and chases and robots and crazy stuff. So next year, because there's a lot of work. Okay. Activation begins with hyperdimensional physics. Others use gimmicks, but Ra's in it to win it. Opponents spin it, commercial empires is breaking down. Once and for all, Nibiru is never around. I'm holding my crown with sound that is profound. I'm not wasting my time deleting these mumbling clowns. Stellar lyrics, contrasting physical matter. My tracks leave craters, you couldn't handle the data. Where's the invader? As we catch the perpetrator, paradigms collapse better sooner than later. 300 million years of genetic manipulation. The human race seems more like a GMO modification. Recalibration, eternal celebration, brain hemisphere synchronized cosmic donation, conscious elevation opening all your chakras, navigating through space and time. I got you. Star seeds activate, make them levitate. Take this fake matrix, make it evaporate. Time to take back the original power from 3D to 5D. The flip side is ours. Star seeds activate, make them levitate. Take this fake matrix, make it evaporate. Time to take back original power from 3D to 5D. The wisdom is ours. I spark your awareness going straight for the temple. Nothing is simple, the astral projection is essential. Ra's eventful, the 31st century lyricist. Project from the abyss so you know what lyrics is. Decoding the hieroglyphs, my statistic is mystic. Timeline forensics, the style is specific. Wings got clipped, yeah, but it was all scientific. Life matters on this plane, so you better equip quick. 6, the refinement, reaching the mindset. I'm the divine vet. I hover above minds yet, ill by design bet, with knowledge that's relevant, indigo starseed, yeah, when I'm in my element. It is evident as I overdose with flows, extra celestial, gather code, implodes, check the vortex mode, embracing the sage, supreme mystical, radical, magical, mega mage. Starseeds activate, make them levitate. Take this fake matrix, make it evaporate. Time to take back the original power from 3D to 5D, the flip side is ours. Exotic melodics that is igniting the timeline. I'm rearranging with sonics plus divine rhymes. This is no hippy dippy, I'm lost like flat earth. This has depth, so I'm giving 5th dimensional birth. For what it's worth, no prophecy is stopping me. The restless reverie is installing new pedigree. You can't test the best, try to decipher my alchemy. Diamond integrity, fading low density entities. Profiling a destiny, realizing complexity. High res telepathy, the Arcturian is heavenly. Heavily guarded by angelic galaxy armory. Dark ones are running from the galactic deputy. No skeptics see. Reproducing brand new reality. To 3D, I simply say rest in peace. Cruising in orbit with glowing bazooka boots. I'm ancient like aliens, so I say peace to Giorgio Tsoukalous. Starseeds activate. Make him levitate. Take this fake matrix, make it evaporate. Time to take back the original power from 3D to 5D. The wisdom is ours. Now you know. It's gonna be really, really, really fat. Okay. Yes. Paperwork. Yeah, I'm working on this. Really, like, dude, star seeds activate, make them levitate. Take this fake matrix, make it evaporate. Like, I'm really getting into it. It's very fantastic and phenomenal what I'm playing. So, what I can do is I can give you a sneak peek. Let me see if I can hook that up. You're getting treats here. Usually, I didn't want to do that, so I'll do. Let's see if that's even possible. I gotta remove this. I'll just give you a little something. No sound? Serious? Let's bring this back. Sound was gone? Do we have sound? Okay, good. I thought for a minute like the sound was gone. Let me move this here to the side and I can get into what I actually want to play. So let's bring it up.
The universe grows
yes.
and the threat of aggression
Yes.
by any group
Anywhere can no longer be tolerated. Yeah.
There must be
Security or no one is secure.
Now, this does not mean
Yeah.
giving up any freedom, except
The freedom to act irresponsible. Check it out. Activation begins with hyperdimensional physics. Others use gimmicks but rise in it to win it.
Opponents spin it, commercial empires just break it down. Once and for all, the bureau is never around. I'm holding my crown with sound that is profound. I'm not wasting my time deleting these
Mumbling clowns.
Stellar lyrics, contrasting physical matter. On tracks leave traitors, you couldn't handle the data. Where's the invader as we catching the perpetrator? Paradigms collapse,
Better sooner than later.
300 million years of genetic manipulation. The human race seems like a
GMO modification.
Recalibration, eternal celebration. Brain hemisphere synchronized.
Cosmic's the nation.
Conscious elevation, opening all your chakras. Navigating through
Space and time, I got you. Star seeds activate, make them levitate. Take this fake matrix, make it evaporate. Time to take back original power. From 3D to 5D, the flip side is ours. Star seeds activate, make them levitate. Take this fake matrix, make it evaporate. Time to take back original power. From 3D to 5D, the wisdom is ours. And that's it. Because that's a video and I'm not gonna spoil the rest, my friends. And it's all my compositions, all my stuff. We had booked actually an orchestra to individually play strings, trumpets. Like really, this is actually my biggest production yet, and I did a lot of productions. I have a lot of albums behind me under a different name. So coming up in a minute. So pertaining our topic, like I'm not leaving that topic. I didn't realize back then when I was writing rhymes that actually what I am saying in my lyrics, that's where my passion is. And now my passion became more my job. And I'm coming back with the rap because I don't need a label or a record label to sign me, because I'm not gangster. I'm not mumble. I'm just being me and being creative, and I enjoy that. And that's actually where the fun is, and that this is where I'm at. And that's the reason why after over 10 years I'm coming back with the album and a song that will be called Starseeds Activate. That's what it is. So back to Q&A. Yeah, so and labels are not needed. There's enough distribution going on online that we can actually make our mark. So, um, yeah. So let's do Q&A party, people. You know, we have a lot of people here, a lot of good energy, good spirits. I like it. So we keep this up on Sundays, and so yeah, Krista, when she channeled, she had people had questions like, "How do I know I'm in 5D?" And they want to know, what does 5D look like? 5D looks like in the beginning, and it's not like Harry Potter and the glitter. It's more like, do things work for you in your life? Is that what you're putting together making sense in your life? The friends that you are meeting, are they responding to you? The loves, crushes, universal love, whatever it is that you feel in you is consistent and it is instant. There's no delay. 2018 was more like to show you what's really not really there. I seen in a global perspective, in general, that you have to look at your friends, who's consistent with you, who's convenient and who's consistent, and really see that, and see yourself, who's the one that's always calling and always saying, well, hello and what's up. I was always the child at the playground that was there when we went out to play. So that's another adventure. Let's build a treehouse. Pardon. And my friends came. Some, thank you for the donation. Some people didn't show up, and in the end, they faded, and they kind of faded into, I don't care. I'm not really there. I'm not really invested in creating anything. And I think now I'm backtracking X-Files, basically, from the 90s, Stargate SG-1, 10 episodes, and I'm recapping, and they're saying stuff in there that they made up back then, which we have in part have developed, where I'm going like, some of these shows are straight up disclosure. Like, they're letting us know what's going on. I mean, Commander Carter, which is played by Amanda Tapping, says one thing, my higher self, or my higher sense, or the better version, or the best version of myself, highlights sentences that are important for me in my findings. So I can watch an entire show and it's all dialogue, and one dialogue pops up, and they're in this ancient site, Stargate SG-1, and it's inactive. And Commander Carter, the female of the clan, says, of course it's inactive. The gates are out of alignment. The stars are not in alignment. The magnetic lines are not firing right. The photons are not firing right. The ions, it can't work. Everything is out of alignment. So the energy that's needed for these generators to work has to do with alignment. And I'm like, oh my God, you talking about Earth. That all of these sites are like beehives, and there's no more honey. So, and we describe and the myth about the honey and how it was in the ancient times. So then I looked at experiments, and they put these fish in a water tank, and the magnetic level in that water basin was like level 4. So regular fish were being born. So they increased it by like 200. Then the offspring of those who gave birth to the fish, the offspring, regular fish this size, then the offspring this size, stronger, smarter, durable, different DNA, much bigger. So our magnetic field went lower, so did our consciousness. So with the fall of consciousness, the magnetic field went low. So when they talk about Niburians were here, Anunnakians, giants. Now imagine they go back 150 million years and they realize that the Earth's magnetic field compared to now was 300, which you would probably pop. You wouldn't even be able to take it. If the level is 300, that means also with the sunlight changing, your entire genetic profile and makeup can change overnight. So if the sun lights up to a degree where we can still do it, that's why we're all a hybrid race, and the magnetics come back, or even reverse. Who knows? Maybe that magnetic field needs to collapse to a point where it becomes something else, where we call that the opposite, and then we will have anti-gravity and all that stuff that we don't understand right now. Meaning, if we don't have platforms to download higher biological cosmic data into ourselves, we won't be able to develop things that help us get there, as in futuristic cities. And I believe it's getting there. I believe that our magnetic, um, Earth's magnetic um, flux is at an all-time low, and it was predicted, and it's going to collapse. And we have already people going crazy. Like the magnetic field wouldn't even allow you to go crazy. It's like an alignment where you can't. You when the magnetics are high and you're in nature, you can't go out and create basically the weird stuff and the wild stuff. That's not even possible because your mind won't even conduct such an wouldn't even orchestrate such a negative thing. Um, and you can see online what we have is this the time distortion we having with people that criticize, people that attack, people that do stuff that actually distorts what we're doing, that explains the time distortion. So if somebody does evil or does harm, that's the equivalent of the time distortion. And as a public figure, I know we had online people coming at us, and whatever the relation is or was, is I learned this. If you are upsetting to somebody, then you must retreat. Unless somebody decides they want to connect with you. If somebody tells you they do not wish to communicate with you, you must retreat. I had even a guy on Facebook who tapped out, came back after 6 years, and starts trolling my groups again with the same thing, apologizing and then apologizing, but still on the same destructive path where I can say, why would I befriend such a destructive being? So free radicals in your body have nothing to do in your body. In a healthy organism, that stuff is being banned naturally. Not killed, but rendered inert and flushed out. And this is what the organism Earth is doing right now for our consciousness. So alignment has to do with living organisms. Let me light up some sage here. And life enhancing situations is known by those who know life. So butterflies, birds, babies, dogs, they know when somebody's a bad character. Babies cry, dogs bark at you, they don't trust you. And in the future, telepathy will reveal everything. If you have, if somebody, so what some people don't understand, if somebody wants to criticize because they're getting upset with whatever the situation is, whether it's political, whatever they say, or whomever they choose to criticize, and there's ill intent and upset behind what they're doing, this will bear no fruits. That's written in ancient text. This is also what I learned from my grandmother. If you plant rotten seeds, that has to do with what's the intent. Where do I come from with my intent? The outcome cannot be that nobody sees what's being done. And that's how I know we're ascending, that these people are falling off right now. They're not getting the connections, the contacts, the hookups. People don't want to mingle with that. Your halls are not being filled and you're not in business with that. And that is good that way, so that they learn, get in line. And if you don't know how to bake the pie, then you go to the one with the recipe. You get in line and you learn. And you might pay for the recipe. That's fair exchange. And then you learn and you have your own recipe and you might sell your own cake. But I say that everybody sell their cake. But too many people are out there that promise cake. They copy the headline of the recipe and the promise of that cake. And they produce nothing. I'm very proud to say that I have check my video, the EMF key, which is now a Christmas special in my store, where I dropped the price by like, I think like 35%, where you get the key and the chip to mitigate EMF by protecting the cells from EMF. So we have sent in the chip with the photonic substance to Masaru Emoto's laboratory. Masaru Emoto studied the consciousness of water. And if I can show you, for those that don't know, I study that hard. So they put words, or they would meditate with water, and they would attach words to water. And so if a word like what's the resonant and actually the meaning of wisdom, and then they microscopically they flash froze the water, and then they took a picture, and the word wisdom looks like this. So meaning when you have words that harmonize, water has a response. I have this entire deck here. Reverence. That has to do with alignment of the water crystals within you. When you have these resonant frequencies within your body, guess what? You're going to get psychic. You're going to get better. I mean, isn't this beautiful? This here is love for humanity. This is the program. And water has memory. So there was a case where these scientists were trying to develop biological weapons. And they were talking about how they want to kill people. This is a very, very famous case. And they had a can of water at the table. And these scientists, must have been 12 people, talked about, I've seen it in the documentary, what they would do to actually make water like dead, so people would not benefit from it. And they all got very sick drinking that water. The water listens. The water has memory. And the memory is stored within you. And it's cosmic. See, this is when they put the word sun on a glass. See the word? Let me see. Can you see this? It's pretty bright. Anyway, this is the word sun. And then this is what you see. So water knows there are program routines in the water that will tell you. See, this is, maybe you can read this, peace. And peace will form this. Let me see. See? Beautiful formations. And when you know that water responds in memory, then you know whatever we say to one another affects the programming of our water body. That's very, very important. And when we align this, we come back to peace. So I'm also working with this. The holographic stickers that I print have actually the highest resonant words that Masaru has found in the water, combined in a template that you can put on your phone or your microphone. See, like here I have holograms here on the thing to bless the work that you're doing. And it has an effect. People believe it. If it's not me, then somebody else will do it. And sometimes I add bonuses for people that order or come back. See, these are the templates. These are micro circuits that actually close to you have an effect on your system. So whatever word, so if you have the word love on your t-shirt, that has an effect. I was selling these prototypes of, I don't have any printer because I need to make more merchandise, where I'm activating the mitochondrial system with a binary bit code that's based on a 22-dimensional DNA matrix that I kind of channeled. Don't ask me how I did it. I just scribbled it and printed it out. And then the 4 aspects of the cosmic family: mother, father, daughter, son, and all interdimensional colors that come with that. And a friend of mine, Arcturus J, she did a video where she said she tried to sleep with the t-shirt and she couldn't go to sleep. It was that active. So we can make sacred geometry on clothing, because clothing is, you can say, out in the city, your first line of defense. Any projection, any thought, any look gets bounced off of this. So you make this blessed, you make this holy. See, that explains, what do you think the wizard wore silk? Silk has the highest photonic discharge in fabric. Polyester, the lowest. Why do you think you sweat and get sick in the winter if you have a jacket that is just polyester? Or you have socks that are pure polyester, and in 5 minutes your feet smell like you don't want to experience that smell. Stay with cotton, stay with natural fabric so the body can breathe naturally, and microfiber and naturally stuff or mixed, because the stench stays in plastic. Plastic stores it. Also, the energy is lower. So know what you're dealing with. Also, with sneakers or whatever you wear, let's have breathable material that you can connect. I have grounding soles in my shoes, so I'm connecting to the magnetic field of the earth, because a shoe can be an insulator. And sometimes we lose that connection because we're not sleeping on a magnetic mattress right now. For those who want to know, investigate Magnetico sleep pad. It's something that you should look into. I'm myself working on a Buddha helmet, which is a North Pole directed helmet with which magnets all around and shielding, and I want to see what that does to me, if it can be like a thinking cap, and then I'll build a few. So right now I'm having the assembly coming next week, putting these pieces together. So lots of good stuff is being created. Let me see what you have here. So I have this hiccup. What's that? Sima non conosco in inglese. Mi dispiace. Alessandro Macini. I hear you. Me too. What's this? Buddha box. Not Buddha helmet. I can show you the prototype, but you won't see what it looks like when it's revealed. This is the prototype. This will be all sealed. Photons inside, magnetics outside, and then it's going to be going to Buddha Town. So I had to order a used helmet because in the assembly, it's a lot of 24 karat dipped in gold copper pipes that are filled with the photonic substance and sealed and then holographically aligned will be assembled into that helmet, but on a smaller scale, so the photons basically can actually hit you, see, and the gold can be reflected into your cerebellum. So I'm working on a few things here. So next year there will be new product coming out. I can't give you a timeline because it has to do with how I'm downloading this stuff, how this is coming in. So Evelyn Novicki, I'm curious about your thoughts on heavy metal. Well, they tested. I'm not to diss heavy metal. Everybody that makes music, I love you very much. But fact is, they played death metal and trash metal and speed metal to water. And Mazzaro did a picture. You can Google it yourself. The water structure is utterly destroyed. There is 432 hertz music that doesn't do that. It's people might like that. It might be a reflection of a destructive time, but in the Atlantean time, that distortion did not exist. And I'm just giving you fact, meaning you're not healing your heart with heavy metal. That's impossible. Okay, might give you a kick. Techno, you'd have to measure that basically. Like, you can. I like house and I like harmonious house. Techno is kind of like, you can say the druggy offspring of the house music. I'm more into like the soft and the nice music and the vibes. So and do the studies for self. Consciousness of water. Masaru Emoto. He passed, but his laboratory is ongoing. I wanted to share that with you. The phone chips that I have developed, that we have sent into Masaru Emoto, basically with the substance. Basically, they have photons stored in a silica-based substance, and then I print my logo on it, and that's what you put on your phone. So we have copywritten pictures, exclusive pictures that relate to the sand, not somebody that puts up a product and copy pastes a picture of Masaru from another experiment and says this is what it does. Actually, we have it with the copyright. Check my EMF chip video where We can show that crystals form in the water with the influence of photons, as in corrected light. Also, I have a printout from the Bavarian Institute in cell studies and intracellular communication that is notarized. That stuff costs money, people. But thanks God to you, your shoppers. You're basically investing me that I can invest into that. So I have the printout. It's in my files. So we have physical proof for those who need that we can enhance 22% of the fibroblasts, which is the connective cell tissue, meaning that what connects your cells, the communicators, up that the circulation and modulation of a cell so it can defend itself against EMF. So we have physical proof that this technology is physical fact and is not a placebo. Placebo is imagined, but placebo doesn't heal per se or make well, as in really, really well. So I'm talking about the reality, making that reality, also to show people the debate stops when you have, scientific proof. Where, yeah, on YouTube, everybody can make up anything right now. But there are studies right now where you have printouts and comparison, and people for many, many years doing that stuff where we put ormus water in our flowers, and Krista's greenery had grown so much that we had to give plants away because our house turned into a jungle. So I know that stuff works. And I showed it in one of my videos. I don't know if it's on Instagram. I had a tree that cracked, and it was black in half. The guy came and cut the tree because half the tree fell on my car. And he said, your tree is done. So I got my photonic agricultural pebbles and put them into the soil. And out of the black cracks, I kid you not, and I can take pictures in the spring for you to show it again, because the black crack is still in the center where the tree was supposedly dead. The green is coming back out. It's growing over our driveway, and it came back when everybody said your tree is done. So I know we can work in life enhancing life force and bring the proof that this stuff works. Also, the ormus that we produce is partially milky, partially watery, and it's so highly charged that it superconducts, as in it super compacts. So you have water and then like a white cake, and I tell people to shake it because ormus doesn't always stay. Sometimes ormus is there, sometimes it's gone because it's a fifth state of matter. I call it galactivate. And just the water running through a triple filter system. I built a structure alignment magnetic influx system by looking at 3 different systems that I'm combining. And it's so highly charged that I can't do ormus all the time because I'm close to tripping taking that. So I'll take my time coming into that consciousness and staying with that. So I take my drops every day. So I recommend, for those who want to know, you want just free knowledge, ormus, Shilajit online, ashwagandha. These are adaptogens that balance your body out. But you have to make sure that your diet is correct and you're already on the money with feeling what you're doing. It doesn't make sense if you are Mickey D or BK customer for years and you've never done anything else and take a drop of ashwagandha after a thick meal. It'll take time to go through layers for you to actually feel what you're supposed to be feeling. So people like me, Krista, and others, they feel directly the input because our diet is already attuned to don't give the body what the body cannot process or what the body's not made for, and stay away from the non-essential. The same goes for the information that you give yourself. Watch online what you're subscribing to, because information is also food. And if it doesn't nourish the mind, it deteriorates the mind. So studies have shown that, stupid info will make you stupider, so and train yourself and be in life and be engaged in life and build that. So I'm having fun here right now. So what's my diet? I eat tofu, I eat fish. We measure our ormus is under the threshold, because I have it's called the Egyptian wet method. You can find that on YouTube that I'm using. And I'm photonically enhancing the water that balances the pH level. And you see that high pH level should be taken into a minimum. People drinking 10.7 pH level water, you're taxing your stomach because your stomach fluids need to be acidic. I have to turn on my heater here because I'm outside. So don't overwhelm your body with super alkaline water because that can actually damage the lining of your stomach. You have to watch the video, The Alkaline Myth. The ideal water for your stomach is 7.2 pH. If you want to drink a glass of water, make sure it is balanced. That is what's best for you because your blood pH is 7.2. Why would you pump, I don't know, 13? I mean, if it's up to 15, 16, it'll burn your skin. So there's things in your system that need to be acidic, and there's things in your system that need to be acidic. No, acidic, put it this way. Acidic fluids in the stomach helps you for process of elimination. The alkalinity balance in your blood helps your system to function properly. And for that, your body has what it's called, and I'm not a doctor, but you can Google that. It's called homeostasis. The body knows what to do. You don't have to know. The divine scientist is within. If you give it the right tools, you bring back what needs to be brought back. That's all there is. Yeah. See here, Beth Major says it. The body will optimize each organ's pH level. That is so different. People that have a Kangen machine and alkalizer, you're not necessarily helping your system, and you're not necessarily getting healthy. Yes, for people that have ulcers and extremes and they pump it until it's gone, you should go back to balanced pH levels. But for me, I drink 7.2 pH, and Ormus, which is seem to have a spot here, and Ormus is 10.7, which I take like a spoon or a drop with water. That still keeps the level at 7.2. It doesn't how do you say, derail the acidity that must be held. I think it's like 2 or 3 pH in the stomach, so you can process food properly. That's why sometimes we cook food. It's a pre-digestive procedure that our ancestors have found that enable us to process greens and stuff further. I'm like type O negative. I'm O negative. I have problems with carrots and kale. So it's not all raw food and all green and all vegan with me, because I get sick if I don't eat according to my blood type. Not promoting unnecessary slaughter, unnecessary hunting, and all that stuff. But I've seen reports from Africa where kids were sick and salad wasn't bringing them back, neither tofu, kale, or any other proteins. And when they gave them chicken soup and a little bit of whatever they had, these kids came back to health. So it's to be vegan also in the Western civilization is a luxury that people in poorer regions do not have, and they need to live. And I say, under the source, they be forgiven for whatever transpires in exchange that must take place was contractually agreed upon, and not in misuse, and so it shall be. So peace be whatever you eat. Bring your consciousness in with what you're eating, and all will be resolved. Because sentient beings are tomatoes, so are chicken. The only difference is chicken have eyes and a different level of consciousness, but kale has, I don't know, 200 chromosomes. So it means that kale is smarter than humans. When we're eating that, we're killing. Sorry to say, you're eating an apple. You're using something else that you're transforming into life force. So contractual agreement on a global spectrum is all connected. And again, overproduce and unnecessary intake shall not take place. But when somebody is in life-threatening danger and they need animal proteins, let them also be safe. That's my opinion. Toma'a. Borax. Yeah, if you want to remove fluoride, take zeolite. Sleep on a magnetic mattress so the body can actually do its own job. Have your immune system. I did that. I did, you can say, immune system bodybuilding. That's called advanced cell training. I healed my Lyme disease after 37 years to inform my immune system that I had mutated versions of microcolonies that were governed by Lyme, um, hidden. So I had Epstein-Barr, thinking I have the flu every winter, all governed by Lyme. And then when it's called ACT, Advanced Cell Training, when I went there and did a class, it took me a year and a half to heal it out. All the microcolonies I had in my system, like you say, a sore shoulder might be an inflammation. Lower back pain might be an inflammation. Viruses go, as in bacteria goes into where your trauma sits. And doctors are not trained for that. They treat you symptomatic and they want to wipe out this colony, but there's certain mutants that went over here, changes, disguise themselves as DNA, and your antibiotics are not reaching that. Antibiotics can only go as far as the blood vessel, but if it's stored in the fat, you remain sick. Nobody can really help you. So I learned when you train, the immune system to turn the rife frequency in your brain on, which is conscious. Once your brain tracks a virus and it's made aware through programming, it stays on. When you go to bed, your brain is even more active. See, a rife machine can keep Lyme at bay for many years and it's all nice, but the minute you turn a machine off, there are 500 on average bacteria that remain, that mutate, change their encasing, and the original frequency that Rife had found won't hit them anymore. That's for Lyme, lupus, sickle cell, anemia, many of these immune deficiency diseases, AIDS. All of that stuff is, you can make the immune system aware of what's free radically wreaking havoc in your system. And I'm just giving you my observation. And when a guy that treats people has over 60,000 customers and nobody complains and they all get better and it's not promoted, you have to really investigate that. So I'm also in Lyme groups on Facebook. Then I say, put your money there, invest there. That's where you need to go, because it only makes sense. And it's the people will bring back the powers of the people, because they will know what's good. So organic sulfur, these people that sell that have 5 million customers, and everybody is taking their organic sulfur, because all your vegan food, guess what, is sulfur deficient. Most of these people that are vegan, because this is such a trend now, everybody says I'm vegan, whatever that is. You have to eat 8 to 12 bananas to have an average potassium level. That shows you how deficient the banana is. Our food, Whole Foods, whatever, is even radiated. They do that to kill bacteria. If you go, you laugh, with a nuclear Geiger counter to Whole Foods. Go into the green section and in here, our stuff is all radiated and processed. Guess what? Why we're not getting conscious that quick? All of our food is processed, everything. 3 inches of soil in the US is artificially fertilized. Organic is a myth, face it. Organic is my German grandma in her yard, planting the tree, getting apples unsprayed from my grandfather when they were alive, burning untreated woods, not Home Depot woods that's all dipped in everything, and using the ashes with the original 12 minerals back into the soil to remineralize and fertilize the information in the soil so you can have growth. Every farmer in the past knew, for 4 or 5 years, you have your crops here. Then you cut that down and stop, no harvest here. You pick a different acres and you let the soil come back with the rain and the exchange and all of that, so it can remineralize. We're so mass produced that our acres don't have time to remineralize, so we take fertilizer to artificially pump minerals in the soil that do not come from the earth directly to make our food grow. Guess what? It becomes deficient. And we're learning that now. That's why if you plant, your fruits in Hawaii, in the soil, in the lava rocks, Of course, they taste different and they have a nutritional value times 200 up in a percentage than if you have it from California, from an artificially fertilized ground. So also, that's why me and my distribution company for photonic substance, we are working on fertilizer that is photonically charged quartz sand that you can digest, that has the regular DNA information of biovital accessibility of soil. And your food comes back, guess what? And the parasites stay away. And that fertilizer is 100% organic. It's going to be very expensive, but your crops, your yield is going to go up like 1,000%. I think like right now, the science has it that the sacks are like, I think like around $600, $700, like 60 pounds. But you mix that with regular soil, you bring your stuff back. And my partner is already making crazy moolah because Vietnam buys that stuff for their rice fields, and they're happy because they can put it in there. It dissolves with the soil. It's 100%. There's nothing chemical. All it is photonic energy programmed with images so that the soil understand, this is the resonance of healthy soil. That's called bioresonance. So in the future, you will see science that will also be that will blow your mind. How we bringing back stuff, how we bring back the seabeds, how the barrier reef can be brought back. All that stuff, we're doing it, and the time is now. And it's not like out there or futuristic. It's like what we're doing for this planet right now. And that's my plan: environmental control, help water clearings, water companies, enhance your water, enhance the consciousness of water. Thus, the consciousness of your cell structure and yourself is enhanced. So it works all together. And in a course, I will break down when I do a like private session or a downloadable session. I have to see how I actually do this. I will explain how you can do the best to bring the information back into your food. So if you have to buy at Whole Foods and you want to bring the information back, I'm working right now on a borosilicate glass cutting board that is programmed with the imagery that the minute you put your kale on there, in 5 minutes, your kale is back, your carrots are back, your lemongrass is back, your tomatoes is back. It's like pyramidal energy in the plate stored. We already have sold like 50 worldwide, and it works. Basically, you can put tomatoes on there and you can let them sit there for 4 weeks. They don't rot. I have something similar in my fridge where I tested it with meat and like strawberries, and the rotting process is slowed down. Has to do with bioresonance. Explain that real quick for those that don't know. My grandma, when I grew up in Germany in the 70s, she put the potatoes and the apples in the root cellar, like in the soil, untreated soil. And they would last 7-8 months, sometimes 9 months. Even the marmalade, untreated after open, in the soil, lasts for freaking ever. Why is that? Science is now realizing that the photons and the magnetic alignment that hits the food keeps the food reminded you're still around it with life force. You don't need to die. So that cycles life force energy, and your potatoes will stay fresh for 9 months. Wow. You can do that with a potato and put it in your fridge and put one on the desk and one in a copper pyramid. And then you'll see who's the fastest to rot. Like, don't believe what I say. Test it for yourself. And you'll see, you put apples on your table, and in 2 weeks, they shrivel and they begin to rot. Why? Because we're living in unholy places. The Hopis, the Kogis, the Aborigines, they're all like similar stories that I hear when I watch these documentaries over the years. I call it interdimensional forensics, is what I'm doing. They say when you cut corners, you kill spirits. So when people live in domes and round buildings, stuff lasts longer. So in the future, I believe we will go back where we actually came from, Lemuria, Atlantis. Our buildings will be round, elliptic, no more corners. Because to see you're in your bedroom, and in the morning it's sinus or headache. Why? Because the air stands still. Because in a 90-degree angle, which doesn't exist in nature, you cut energy. For a temple structure and prayer and focusing of energy, that is good. But for living and life force, you need realm. A dome is hurricane proof, flood proof, earthquake proof. In the Feng Shui and in India, the Vastu, as in the arrangement of furniture, buildings, and energies to the environment around house, doesn't need correction. Nature accepts that. So you can put an elliptic house in a riverbed and it'll never deteriorate. You can build a bridge in a river, and where the posts sit over time, that stuff deteriorates because these corners cut water and water cuts into it and breaks it down, because that's not the natural flow and order of things. So if we study sacred geometry, we see that. So let me see, Mr. Ra'an here posting stuff that I have to allow. So what we have, according to my studies, one of the most efficient detoxifiers is activated charcoal made of beech wood. Basically scrubs the intestines of the toxins. It is high in absorbent toxins. Yes, also, to what I found, if you sleeping on a expensive magnetic mattress, you're shielded EMF wise. You have a Shungit block sitting on your router and your TV, and you really can measure the house is clear and clean, and your diet is somewhat okay. You need next to no supplement. When your body is in the perfect environment, it rejuvenates, it detoxifies. You don't need supplements. You don't need crutches. You don't need any help. You don't need anything external to get where you need to be going. Whether it's psychedelics, food, I mean, your entire life is psychedelic. Any stimulant that we take, I understand. Soda pop is not life-sustaining. Coffee is not life-sustaining. Tea, these are all stimulants, unless it's healing tea. When you use a stimulant, you fool the body into giving you energy that you don't have, and you have it for a minute, but it robs the body from its reserves. Original energy is when you stick with life-sustaining. I'm drinking apple juice, not from concentrate, by the way. That's how I grew up. Stay with the energy that's originally in your body and you're fit. The fatigue comes from the environment, takes the energy from you, and you use stimulants to bring that energy back. That's why also by a lot of people, sorry to say, sex life is a little out of whack, because we're trying to get energy in a way where we don't really have really truly energy. The original Kundalini drive in connection with people is actually a rainbow 8 of infinity. When you hug somebody and all chakras connected, that's the original sexual energy. The overall commercial sexual energy is this, oh, that's a hot one or a crush or this, and it's all drive and nothing here and nothing here. That's why also the sapiosexual is being birthed right now. If somebody is not stimulated by the mentality by the person, nothing is going on with the lower chakra. So we're leaving the lower realms and connecting the lower realms with the upper realms, rightfully with consent, opening up to feeling and experiencing that in a different way. And that was communicated by high priestesses and a lot of females. And that's what's coming back. That installs also the original sensitivity of I love myself, I'm happy, I'm in luck, I'm a lucky being, and whatever I require it will be coming to me. And that's how I create, again, the word consistency. That is the word for 2019. Look at consistency. Who's consistent with you? Who sticks with you? So I'm giving you the giggles. Skripalitsky. Popeye Namali, rock the body. Tamam, tamam, tamam. It's a crazy song that Krista keeps singing, and it's like a freaking earworm in my head. Tamam, tamam. It's a funny song. Anyway, German rap for your ear. So, what we have. Somebody left a 12-year relationship and it jumped. Where did that go? Somebody said that, okay, you hadn't had sex for 3 years. Okay. Does almost assist in hair growth? It can assist. You'd have to basically take drops and put that here. Also arganum oil, but get pure, unrefined arganum oil. He's getting what? You bringing more apple juice? How do you know that I'm almost done? Krista must be psychic. You enjoying the show? Good. Thank you. Mom. Yeah, she's in the house while I'm in the workspace. It's cold outside. Semi-spherical complex found in Bushegi Mountain. I have to check that, the Bushegi Mountain. I haven't heard about that. Well, does he actually channel the Arcturians? Me, yes, I do. I'm 100% Arcturian. I am. For those that don't know, people have seen that. As an Arcturian, I look like this. I have actually pointy ears in that dimension. Dude looks like me. Also, I had this developed like higher self. And I'm taller there. So this is my human version. Also here, see, Arcturus. And trust you me, I'm very precise. I don't put a tattoo on my body unless I have proof. Now, how do I know that I'm Arcturian? Here's the oddest thing, if you want to hear a magical tale. I'm in Berlin, and I'm in a trance state, deep trance. And I'm asking, who am I? It's like, I know I'm cosmic, but I haven't got a clue. Like, since a little child, I had extraterrestrial, invisible friends, but I realized they're real because they came back after 30 years to remind me that we're actually not invisible friends. We're like actually very real. And that's the form that was acceptable by you. So here's the thing. I'm sitting in my apartment in Berlin, and I have a star map on the wall to, let's say if this was the couch, to my left. And I see a star blinking as if this was an animated map, but it was a poster. But something, these ETs can do stuff, which is phenomenal. They activate. And they put labels to what you see, so you understand what you see. So I saw this planet sparkling and said, "That's actually where you come from. That's your major." And of course, we're all mixed, we're all hybrids and muds. And so I'm walking over there and I read Northern Hemisphere, Botus constellation, Arcturus, and they're like, "You Arcturian," and I'm like, "What does that even mean?" And they're like, "Well, in time, we'll explain to you what that means. Parts of you in your body are extraterrestrial, and they want to wake up, and that's for the entire human race. It's going to be a little bit of a shock, but also that's part of who you are." I'm going through hell, having an eviction notice on the table. My relationship is in shambles back then, and they're already making plans. This dude has to be moved. Like, I was literally moved to Sedona. This was suggested. Yeah. So, okay. Somebody's misbehaving. Let me see that. If I see people misbehaving, I'll kick them out. I'm not really, this is a nice show. Not 1% actually messes up. There doesn't have to be anybody that does stuff to upset my people. Okay, so Gwendolyn, whatever you said, I haven't read that. You know, you gotta not post those things, or I'll boot you very quick. I have no discipline for this, for the following reason: we're all building here, and we're all working hard. Yeah, I don't even. Krista, how do I kick out that being? This is really upsetting. Sorry, people. Sorry for the inconvenience. See, everybody's having fun, and somebody has to, and I can feel it. I can sense it. The person is very upset, and the 3 dots next to their name. Okay, where is that? Yeah, we're not even playing. So, yeah, that person is gone. I really sorry, man. This is like kindergarten, and what people are and what they want to do is like we all, which I love you, is over 100 people, and this is the thing. We all have the discipline to behave and do our thing, and I like that. Gwendolyn was a resistor. I don't even make her a big topic. When everybody's, all the vibes here are wonderful. And none of you have to buy anything in my store. It's not about that. It's me having a small talk with you, enjoying this. I'll probably extend it to 2 hours because we're really, really having fun. It's really, really working. Overwhelming kudos. It's very lovely. And give you stuff to move further in what you have to do. I go to, I'm sending love to Gwendolyn, and hopefully she won't criticize. But if people, throw around the food or misbehave, you can't sit with us. Very simple. And that's in the future when I build the retreat center, which takes years and years and years. I've already been 7 years in saving for that. It's for the people to get better, and everybody to in their own abundance. So much love, Gwendolyn, to you, and much peace, maybe next time. See, this is sometimes so I think people want to talk about possessions, spirits, demons, thought forms. I have a lot to actually give there, where people that's either an evil intent or something else. And the organism, like you people are, it defends itself and bans or pushes it out unless it transforms and is like the others. That doesn't mean you have to follow me. Those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Need more people. And so back to the Arcturian story. And thanks for keeping this clean. And thanks for Krista for pointing it out, and you others. Whatever, shows up that is really not playing along like everybody else, please inform me. That's how we keep it clean. That's how I keep it with 5,000 people in Facebook. Anybody that says anything or anywhere, is being reported digitally. I see it. Any post, anything that goes on and that mentions my name or points out, as a little screen, beep, and I see who it is. And in the future, YouTube's going to be like they were going to reveal the IP. If somebody attacks or is aggressive, you can actually check. I had 3 now where I had publicly sent the address where the threats really went to a level where it was like critical. So I send the address of the person, of the house, all around the world to the authorities. And they say as long as nothing physically shows up at my house, I save all the emails and all the attacks. But they would show up and protect me if need be, because I have it all in print, all documented. These people are also not really smart. But next, so if somebody has a thought possession, that means they're feeding a thought of aggression, and that aggression makes them do things. That aggression leads to something where people say no, and the doors close, and that's when you know you're not on your path. You're on your path when people open the doors, embrace you, and things are working. And that's when you have to know a thought can become a possession if you feed it too much. So know your thoughts. Own your thoughts. Sometimes there's thoughts in the thought realm cruising here that are not our thoughts. They're not our own. And we have to know that. So I have to restrain myself, not in a bad way, not like Hulk, who's always mad. But if it gets out of control, you get disciplined, non-violent, non-aggressive. You don't say anything to anybody. To stay positive and continue that, because we're not promoting the other side. So I get visitations from Arcturians, and you can say by telepathy, I'm in contact with the Arcturians all the time, which many of you are from different star systems. You want to do star readings. There's a lady called Lavendar starseedhotline.com. She does star marker readings, and I think an 8-minute reading, $35, will tell you the planets you have visited and what your main planet is, and she can do that. It is a birth line Arcturus. I'm directly connected, and you should find that out if you don't know already. If you're Pleiadian, Lyran, or whatever, or if you're a mix. Like I know I have a warrior side. That's the Syrian side. So you can say my rap stuff and my battle stuff was in the Syrian wars. When I lived in the Syria star system, I was a Syrian being. But the main being in soul origin is Arcturian. So the second confirmation why I know that I am Arcturian is I went to a psychic when I went to hell in Berlin. Thought my life, this is it. I'm going to be homeless. I don't know how to pay this rent. Relationship is over. Ex-girl is kicking you out. You have 2 weeks to get your shit together. I was like, okay, I'm finished here. So with my last 50 euros that I had and no food, I went to that psychic and said, a friend of mine said, you have to see her. And I'm not telling you this for kicks. If I tell you to go to see somebody, that really, there's something life-changing behind that. So I trusted my friend named Ulrich, cosmonaut, psychic oracle, and genius. And I went to that psychic, and she's a powerful person, works for the German parliament by day, and by night she's a psychic, and they don't know. Anyway, so I was guided to go there, and I sat with her, and she was doing angelic healing, Reiki, nothing galactic. I changed her life also. She came out of the healing after 2 hours, and I also explained to you why she's a powerful psychic. How to really know somebody who's psychic. And she said, I don't know what this is, but you are in this spacesuit. You're on Earth. Everybody's on their way, and you're waiting for your Arcturian brothers and sisters to return. What is Arcturus, and why are they telling me that you're some sort of ambassador, all of this galactic stuff? Also, she found a fragment. My level of intelligence has changed. When I met her, I was at a certain level already, but she released a part of a scientist from the ancient times, of a soul fragment that was sharing this with you. Now you know. She couldn't have known that. And she explained to me how she flew up there, spoke like language, and got me out of this contraption where in some Maldekian war, before Maldek blew up, planet Maldek, not Marduk. And she freed me and reintegrated that part. I had a massive headache. Also, I always felt when I was in Berlin, I couldn't reach a certain level of intelligence. Some people want to say it's placebo, but I felt this is very real. She said that I went to a ship into a dimension where a technical race was monitoring me and blocking and controlling me. Like I couldn't expand into what I needed to be doing. And she flew up there with Archangel Michael, angels are very real, and said, bye this individual. And they're like all spooked, like, oh, we're found. Like when you find them, they're revealed. And they're like, actually, no, we're just experimenting. And she's like, okay, remove this now. And then dissolve this cable in golden light, and took it out of my cranium and freed me. And I felt intelligence coming to me and things and intuition, and my psychic levels increased. And a headache that I had all of my life when I'm shaking my head, that headache was gone. That day, I walked out of there tumbling, not knowing what's going on. And again, she said, you're Arcturian. So that was the second confirmation. And she couldn't have known that I'm Arcturian. My test is this. I go to any psychic and say, what's my home planet? Or what planets do you see? Sorry to say, 92% fail. You have to really know your stuff when you want to talk to me. I had another psychic that was part of my cell training who healed a program, which people have to understand. You can't know that. My mother had a miscarriage before I was born, before my older brother that has passed on was born, and that would have been a girl. And my soul, before I came into the conception, took the guilt of the loss of that female on, so my mother wouldn't suffer that much. And that goes so deep. My mother didn't even know that would have been a girl. We knew this by going into the realms. I cried. My body was shaking. If a psychic knows stuff like that in depth, then they're on the money. They can't know this. And the reason why this psychic, unfortunately, is in Germany, she would make a killing in the US. There was a guy named Klaus. He was in a coma 6 years. And the family ran the doctors. They were running the machine, and they were about to switch off the machine. And then the mother said, one more thing is I'm going to the psychic that was recommended. I want to know what's going on with my son. And she went to my friend, and she said, write the name of Klaus on a piece of paper. I'll sit down and go into the realm and see what's happening. And this is phenomenal. And this is like firsthand, I got the knowledge, not from several people, and I have my own experience. She finds Klaus in an in-between realm, sitting by a tree, blaming himself, not going towards the light and not going into his body. And she, I don't know if it's astral realm, Akashic, or further, because there's many words and labels. In that dimension, she's like, you have to make up your mind, man. Either you're going back, all your people are suffering, you're blaming yourself for that accident, and you're not making up your mind, and you're sitting here in the grass wasting time in that realm, but you're not going anywhere. Either it's you're going to go and you pass on and you ascend and it's goodbye, or you're going to your body. What does your responsibility tell you? And then Klaus gets up, and I get emotional talking about this, and says, I'm going back to my body, reinserts himself in the body. And the mother calls my psychic friend and says, guess what? My son woke up. And this is when reality takes place. I don't care how the storyline that I gave you is perceived by people. Love, like Krista says, it is real. There are things that can take place when we know the modalities of those magic deals. I had a friend that unfortunately was in Berlin, and she took LSD, MDMA, all types of drugs, and mixed it and bounced. The shell was left, the soul was in the ether, and she was just sitting there and was not responsive anymore. They called the ambulance. They didn't know what to do with her. They tried to put her into a psychiatric hospital. They're like, what's wrong with her? And I said, let me go to my friend. What you see is psychiatric hospital. They're like, what's wrong with her? And I said, let me go to my friend. What you see is not really what's happening. Trust me. Give it a couple of days. Normal. Surfboard, don't take 15 footers that swallow you. And don't mix. So, no more substance for that one. And she's crystal clear, conscious, a little bit of psychic, a little bit of healer, and clear in life, and remembers how she came back to her body. Because if we get pushed out our system, then it's a problem for us synchronizing that, plus holding full consciousness out there, because we're not trained. So how's the connection so far? My people, where's the connection? Eve of Sophia, Kristen Parrish, Miss Electric, Cody, what's up? Frazier, what's up? So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. We have 15 more minutes with wonderful response. I leave this video up so people can actually see. And maybe I share one more. What do they cook in Arcturus? There's no food. It's all frequency. Like the highest frequency level, you don't take anything in. Like you just resonate. So when we eat, what up, Skylar? You better cook, girl. You better cook. The higher the frequency goes, the less food you need. I seen it on Mount Shasta when my body just went like when you have that frequency, you don't even require, you don't even have the craving to require that. The craving is an energy deficit. And I drink chocolate soy milk at times. Well, like I need that kick, so I'm like, it's like trying to hold the frequency. Go figure, you know. And I can do soy milk because I am type O negative, and type O negative has a machine that slices estrogen. So I don't grow no boobs. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But truly, honestly, it's true. Really, it's true. Type O negatives kind of chop estrogen. Like we have a good enzymic structure to break that down quick. So oat milk is interesting. One more question, if I may. Found it's the galactivation oil is intense. Yes, of course. It's energetically upgraded, magnetically aligned. Like I pump everything into it, what not even Young Living oil is doing. You take a drop and put it on your wrist, and then let's see what unfolds. Chakras, not all your chakras, and work according to the level of intensity. So it's not like you bathe in it and it's all like this with the oil. That's too much. So it's basically it carries a frequency of very high frequency and high potency, and that's how it's programmed. See, today I wanted to do some packing and shipping. That's all going to be postponed till tomorrow. But my timing is good. No lateness with shipping. And I got a list shower heads. Actually, I have returns, lost packages. See, I'm the Christmas elf. Mama instinct. Guess what? I'm a seller for Young Living, but I only signed that because I can buy oil for 27% off. So I'm actually a reseller, and the stuff is so good that I'm not going to do it because everybody lines up and wants. That's why I'm creating my own stuff. So I'm infusing that with what I actually get from that. So I'm good. Interesting that you say that. Yeah, I had all of these Young Living women like, and you understand, I got the Young Living Bible. I know the medicinal properties of the oil. Like I'm getting into an alchemy. Like I have to create some stuff next year with tinctures and healing ointments that really kick your butt, and I'm very happy for that knowledge. So we're dealing with that. Yeah, I cleanse everything. Everything that comes to my house is being cleansed and cleared. Well, my name, like they said, the Arcturian said that I didn't really change my name. Everybody knows my name is Renee. Hi, Renee. Renee is such a trustworthy name, isn't it? Renee comes from renewal, and Ra was called Ray. And as a little child, I was always attracted to the sun gods, from Egypt to France. Anything with the sun god and sun being and a realization of the sun and Ra was me. Also know the name Ra was misused by Marduk, who came to this earth as an Aburian chief and said, well, I'll name myself Ra because that's what they worship here. Watch Stargate, the first movie. This half-reptoid gray being comes in and realizes they worship Ra. So he takes on a body and says, well, I will embody what you worship and I control you with my technology. The name Ra was misused. The original Ra system is actually divine, not caught up in any war or any stuff like that. It goes way, way, way back. That's why not a lot is known about Ra, other than that he's the father of Osiris and Isis. No, the father of Osiris. Put it this way, he came before Osiris and Isis. He's the father of Osiris, grandfather of Horus. So you have Zeus, you have Odin, you have Poseidon. Zeus is Enlil, Poseidon is Enki. And if you want to be reactivated in the Enkian knowledge of Ea, the one who want to fix this stuff, watch Aquaman. The trident has nothing to do with Lucifer and the rebellion and blah. That's all church stuff. Enki was rebellious against Enlil. He didn't want him to control Earth. He wanted to wake people up, and it has to do with all the water knowledge and the wars. And guess what? And Aquaman has to challenge his brother Enlil, because Aquaman is the original Lord of the Sea, which is actually Poseidon, and that is Enki, and that is Buddha, that is Ea, that is Hermes Trismegistos, that is Thoth. It's always the same energy. Yeah, watch Stargate. You know, Apophis is like a bitch. Like, they try to fight him, and he's trying to control the Stargates for certain systems. And then you have the Goa'uld, and then they have Thor. Thor is actually an alien. I mean, the script is just hilarious. I'm just laughing. Yeah. And not to worship Enki, I'm just saying Enki was here to clear it up and say, you know, you are actually cosmic, and one day you will awaken. And me and my sister Ninhersak, in another tale called Nerti, we're putting gene codes in you that are dormant, but when the time comes, they will all turn on. So you have less trouble actually crossing over. And Enlil was very pissed on that. And if you want to read that, False Gods Anunnaki by Sasha Lessin, very informative. And if you want to go really deep into it, Zechariah Sitchin, read all of the books, and then you can go pro level, and pro level is, I think, 7th Planet Mercury Rising, and then Anton Parks from France, who channeled tablets when he was 17, and then found a scholar that would complete actually the half. Like, if you turn that into a movie, oh lord. So that stuff is read. Lucy, 4.2 million years, Australopithecus africanus was altered 19 times in the gene codes. There's not left. We have a lot of people online here, so we'll bring it to a close. Yeah. Sometimes the internet is weird. I did a video why Earth is no longer under quarantine, and it exploded. It got viral, and at 16,000, the line got cut. So I don't know if that's controlled, or if this is what's happening. So we're still lagging here. Do we have lag?
Just so you know, it's been lagging more and more, but there's a lot of excitement. I think people are logging on because it's Sunday night. But I'm heating up food. If you get hungry, then just come get food.
Yeah.
You can come eat too. It's okay. You've done a long